Hi, YouTube. And specifically, hi YouTube. Because this is a weed channel, and we're going to talk about weed. Welcome to the Get Sensible YouTube channel. I'm so glad that we finally have a YouTube channel. It's only taken us a year. My name is Heath, and I do drugs for a living. And what I mean by that is that I do drug education. I am part of a team of young people who run a cannabis education campaign called Get Sensible, focused on helping other young people learn more about weed. What is weed? Why is weed? How is weed? If you've ever asked yourself any of these questions, you might have been high. Personally, I've been smoking weed for about 10 years now. A substantial career, I know. My parents are very proud of me. But seriously, I've been involved in the cannabis space for like 6 years, doing advocacy work around cannabis education and how it needs to better serve the needs of young people who use weed. Because in high school, I smoked a lot of weed, and the only cannabis education I ever received was don't smoke weed. And I was already smoking weed, so that was not helpful at all. Back in 2017, we held a roundtable discussion to ask young people what was most important to them when it came to the legalization of cannabis in Canada. And one of the big outcomes of that conversation was young people identifying a lack of education that was non-judgmental, non-stigmatizing, rooted in evidence, and focused on harm reduction that really centered the lived experience of young people who smoke weed. And so, Get Sensible was born. It started out as a toolkit for parents and educators, from young people to the adults in our lives, so that they could be better equipped to approach the cannabis conversation. There's been a lot of changes when it comes to cannabis since they were younger. The cannabis itself is different. The research around cannabis is different. The legislation is different. Like, it's just a totally different context than it was for our parents, which is why it's really important that they listen to what we have to say about this stuff. The reality being that abstinence-based drug education that tells people to just say no to drugs is largely ineffective, and that we need to adapt and have more alternatives to abstinence-based education. And that's where harm reduction comes in, which is the philosophy of meeting people where they're at and recognizing that people use drugs. And just because someone uses drugs, that doesn't mean that they don't have a right to public health. They don't have a right to information that is helpful for them, or community, or all kinds of things. So it started out as this toolkit, but since then it has grown to be something so much bigger. We run workshops, we give presentations, we run social media accounts to help mobilize evidence-based information about weed and promote non-judgmental dialogues about weed, and give young people a platform to express themselves and share their stories about weed. We have this entire network of young people who are curious and compassionate when it comes to cannabis. You got weed science, weed history, weed law, weed culture. Like, there's so much to learn about it. If that's something that, interests you, if you're curious about weed, or you want to learn more about weed, or if you want to teach us something about weed, or share a story that you have, we would love to have you get involved by subscribing to our YouTube channel, hitting that subscribe button, turning on the bell for notifications. You can find the links to our other social media channels in the description. We would also love to hear from you, like, what you want to learn more about as well. So I definitely encourage you to comment below questions that you have, experiences that you've had, and that's it for now. Our next video is going to be sharing some edibles horror stories from people, because it's spooky season. It's Halloween, And so we thought it would just be really fun to give young people a platform to share their like actual weed horror stories. And not all of them are horrible, obviously. Some of them are like insightful, some of them are fun. Some of them are boring because people have all different kinds of experiences using drugs, and they're all worth talking about. So keep an eye out for that, because that video should be coming at you soon. If it's out now, I'll like link it somewhere here, I guess, maybe here. I don't know how. I'm very new to this. But yeah, I guess that's it for now. And stay sensible. Bye. Is this any better? Hi, YouTube. Hi, it's me, it's Heath. Do I have your attention? I'm gonna talk about weed. Hey, you wanna talk about weed? Get over here. Come here. Larry's here too. It started out as a toolkit. Actually, one second. I have the toolkit. Is it? Do we? Yeah, that's a little unnecessary. Oh. It started out. I'm so sorry. It started out as like this toolkit. Beauty vlogger moment. No. What? No, you must not. I guess it's fine. Okay. Go on. We're live. I don't want my mate. Don't drink that. Don't drink that. There's drugs in there. It's caffeine. And if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and follow the links in our description. Is this good? Is this how you YouTube?